don't know why I started with that. Last month, during E3, Shenmue III landed itself in a spot of hot water after it was announced that the game would go Epic Game Store exclusive despite people backing the game being promised a Steam code. Now, people have various ethical and practical reasons for not wanting to use the Epic Game Store, and those people were, well, to say they were disappointed would be to put it diplomatically. Developer EastNet was a little bit fucked, to be perfectly honest.
Honestly, I don't think your kung fu is strong enough.
The game was crowdfunded, and crowdfunding is built on trust, and that trust is eroded when you promise someone something and then pull the rug out from under them. And that's certainly how some backers felt in the aftermath of this news. They felt like they'd been baited and switched. As a result, people did want refunds, but it seemed that EastNet, despite a massively successful crowdfunding campaign and backing from multiple companies, couldn't foot the bill. East tried some weak compromises. They tried offering a PlayStation 4 version to anyone that wanted a Steam version and now couldn't get it, and when that failed, they tried asking people to just wait a year until Shenmue III finally did come to Steam. Neither of those options were particularly edifying to people that had felt a little bit dicked over. Enter Epic Games, which of course had already paid a princely sum, presumably, to secure Shenmue III as an exclusive, tossing its wad around once again and deciding it would be the one to pay for any refunds. Epic says in future, when it secures an exclusive from a crowdfunded game, it will either ensure key availability in advance, or it will guarantee refunds when the exclusivity is announced. An important takeaway from that is the fact that Epic Games will not stop going after successfully crowdfunded games, though it's more than happy to shoulder the burden of the costs for doing so. Yes, any Kickstarter backers who now want out of the deal since the deal has changed will be able to get a refund because Epic, not Deep Silver, not EastNet, Epic will be paying them. While I'm sure many people would still prefer Shenmue 3 to just come to Steam on its release day like normal, this is pretty much the only compromise that works in a world where such a desire is an impossible one. But in any case, this is a weird situation. This is truly a bizarre one. Epic's already paid to secure Shenmue 3 as an exclusive. It's bought that right. And now it's going to have to pay extra, lordy knows how much extra, just to appease people over the deal. And on top of that, you got to remember, this is a Shenmue game. A Shenmue game. A game in a series that doesn't make money. It didn't make money, it loses money, it cost Sega a bunch. It was so expensive to make and market that despite selling 1.2 million copies in the first game's case, both it and its sequel were considered drastic commercial failures. Shenmue 3 is a niche title in a niche series that historically has been nothing but a flop financially. At what point does one company have to stop and wonder, is this shit fucking worth it? I mean, just look at how much has already gone into Shenmue 3. It was crowdfunded to the tune of around $7 million. On top of that, Sony helped with funding. On top of that, Deep Silver backed it as a publisher. On top of that, it got itself a deal with Epic as an exclusive. On top of that, it couldn't afford to pay the refunds itself and needed Epic to help with that as well. In the case of a game that manages to fund itself purely through crowdfunding, then it doesn't need to be a worldwide smash hit success. It just has to deliver the game that the backers expected. Any money it makes on top of that is gravy, provided it's all within budget. But at this point, Shenmue 3 has had so many fingers in its pie. I have to wonder exactly how well this game needs to perform now in order to not follow in the footsteps of its predecessors and become a financial disaster. And at the very least, with Shenmue 1 and 2, they had critical acclaim and the goodwill of a fan base to fall back on. They at least had something from a creative, if not a commercial standpoint. For all of its bullshit so far, Shenmue 3, as I've said before, has to be a phenomenal game. After this much money, this much disappointment, controversy and expectation, it has to blow us all away in order to justify any of it, and I wonder if it can even do that in a post-Yakuza world, where the concepts of the original Shenmue have been expanded upon and improved dramatically. And my worries compounded by the fact that, whatever we've seen of Shenmue 3 so far, it does not look mind-blowing. I hope it's good. I'd like to actually see what a good Shenmue game looks like, but with the intensity of the hype and disappointment surrounding this game, good probably ain't gonna be good enough. To say nothing of the shitstorm that would occur if the game turns out to be a bit pants. As for Epic, regardless of whether or not they're gonna lose money on this, them offering the refunds is undoubtedly a power play. There's obvious potential in them looking like the good guys in this being good PR. Oh, good old Epic stepped in. I doubt all that many people will see it that way, but the optics here are clear. Daddy Epic's gonna take care of you. But that's not why this is a power move. This is a power move because, well, Epic stepping in to foot the bill for another company's refund. If that's not a gigantic swing of the corporate dick, I don't know what is. This is Epic Games saying, hey, we're doing this because we can do it. Because we can afford it. We can afford to buy up all of these exclusives, and on top of that, we can afford to pay extra when it pisses people off. What better way to show how strong you are as a company than to both buy exclusives and personally shoulder the financial fallout from doing so? That, of course, is not the only potential reason why they did this. It behooves all parties involved to try and get this controversy to blow over so that all the companies can just get back to promoting the game and the storefront respectively. But it is nonetheless a show of strength. It is Epic flexing big time. However, Epic's show of strength highlights EastNet's weakness, and Deep Silver's weakness if we're being perfectly honest. This makes the developer and the publisher look ineffectual, incapable of handling their own shit. And it looks especially bad when, if you remember again, Shenmue III has had so much money put into it already. Seeing EastNet go cap in hand for yet another bailout just looks, well, I mean, it looks pathetic if I'm being perfectly honest. It looks pitiful. It really is hard not to draw parallels with Mighty No. 9, which incidentally was also published by Deep Silver, and was basically a mess as Concept needed more and more money for all sorts of disparate projects, while Mighty No. 9 came out and turned out to be, well, a cheap load of shit, really. Anyway, I've said all I need to say on the subject today. I think I've hit all of the points. How do people manage to do hour-long videos on topics like this? I've just gotten all my points across. That's called efficiency. There we go, Craig. Sign, seal, and deliver this one. We've hit our YouTube standard 10 minutes. Wait a minute, what? Oh, fuck. Maybe I can just repeat EA is shit for another 3 minutes. EA is shit, EA is shit, EA is shit.